Hello and welcome to
Dusty VCR!
The podcast where we rewatch old movies from our childhood and decide whether they still hold up. I'm your host, Michael Lynch, and I'm joined by my co-host and sister, Rachel Lynch.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I didn't think of how
you didn't think of a funny anecdote.
I didn't think of a funny anecdote.
Okay, we'll turn to Zena.
Come back to me.
Give you time. Zena,
Well,
do you have a funny
I've
anecdote?
done lots of thinking.
Good.
And I thought so hard that I actually got my taxes done today.
Oh,
so I'm doing swell.
That's good
doing
thinking.
real swell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
$100. Thank you, Massachusetts.
Oh, nice. I'm still waiting on my refund. So Rachel, do you have you in the time that Rachel told that long story?
I did figure one out. So the thing that I wanted to say is that this is the perfect episode to debut me and Zena's new company that we're starting.
Oh.
So Zena and I, if you don't already know, we're quite handy, and we like to think of ourselves as amateur construction workers.
Yeah.
Amateur
that's how I describe
construction babes, if you will.
That's what I tell everybody.
That's what we tell everyone. Yeah, my sister, she's
a real construction babe.
Construction babe. And so we are starting a new company.
Oh.
The name of the company is called Home Wreckers, and we specialize in demo work and stealing people's husbands.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what people need.
Yeah. So I think if Julie Roberts in this movie that we're doing today, my best friend's wedding.
Oh, you could have
titular line.
You could have helped her out.
I think that if she had been doing amateur construction at the same time, she would have been way more successful.
Yeah.
Don't want to give anything away though.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just got back from Austin. I was in Austin for the weekend for a conference, and my take on Austin is it was like very much like Portland. Have you guys been to Austin or Portland?
Yes.
I've been to Portland, Texas, and Austin, Oregon.
Oh, you did it the wrong way. But it was like Portland. It has like very much the same feel as Portland, and it has the same kind of like liberal agenda.
Liberal juju.
That's not what I thought you were going to say when you started Jew. But I went to a food truck, which Austin is also famous for, and they gave me a glass bottle, and I was like, oh, where do I recycle this? And they're like, you don't. You throw it in the trash. And I was like, what? I guess it's like everything in Portland, but except for that one thing that makes it still Texas. And lastly, we're also joined by our first ever guest of Dusty VCR, local comedian Matt Woodland. Matt, welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. This is your weekend, right?
This is my weekend. Yes, it's the first task on the list, and I'm excited. I gotta say though, I'm a little nervous because I have listened to 1.5 of your guys' podcasts.
Oh, that's a record.
That is a record.
And I was just trying to like strategize where I could like chime in with like your guys' chemistry and stuff like that.
Oh,
like how do I fit in? Because it's almost like a flawless dynamic.
Right.
So
well, I'm still trying to fit in between these two.
Right.
The married couple.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I am actually starting my own business too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm going into entrepreneurship.
Oh,
And,
nice.
I'm gonna start manufacturing antiques.
Oh, yeah? we there's not enough antiques. We need more.
Yeah.
We need new antiques.
We need new antiques.
My issue
People
with
keep trying to deal with these old ass antiques.
Yeah, these
They just
relics.
fall apart.
the antiques we have now are so passé, you know.
Yeah.
They're in such bad shape.
Hello.
Yeah.
In a layer of dust.
Yeah, yours
With all
will
the
be
technology we have these days. Come on.
right. Mm-hmm. That's $1 million idea. And so before we get into the movie, we have our first ever sponsor of Dusty VCR. It is my realtor and our favorite realtor, Julie
Our
Roston.
best friend.
Our best friend, Julie Roston. She actually found me my house. So, Matt, are you in the market for buying a house? Because I got a realtor for you.
No, I don't have enough equity for a house. I don't know. I wasn't ready for that
I
question.
mean, she'll hook you up.
She'll hook you up.
I don't have enough perpetuity to buy a house.
She'll give you equity, perpetuity.
Once your business, kicks off, like a couple months down the road, you'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
You'll be calling. What's her name?
Julie
Julie soon. Oh, can we take that part out? We love you, Julie.
So yeah, she actually found me my house.
Crazy.
She's helping my mom find an alpaca farm, and she's been great. My favorite thing about Julie is when I was looking at houses for a while, and I was like, it seemed like I was gonna have to spend a lot on a house to get one that was quiet the way I wanted. And then we found one that was
Don't you hate those loud talking houses?
I hate the loud houses. And Julie was like, I don't want you to be in a loud house. And so we found a house that was like half the price of what we've been looking at. And I was expecting, as my realtor, her to want me to go more toward the expensive houses, but she was like, it didn't matter to her. She was happy to put me in a house that worked. And yeah, my house is great. So if you want to get in touch with Julie, her phone number is 413-575-6017, or you can just Google Julie Roston, and she's with Goggins Real Estate, or you can find her on Zillow if you want to read her reviews. So go check her out. She's the first ever official sponsor of Dusty VCR, and we're happy to have her.
And where does she work out of? Like Western Mass?
Her office is in Northampton.
Okay.
So she serves Northampton and the surrounding area, which is that's where we are. Yeah. Yeah. So
Coincidence.
getting into the movie, we're discussing the 1997 movie My Best Friend's Wedding, starring Julia Roberts, Dermott Mulroney, and Cameron Diaz. And this is actually a pick from our guest. So Matt, what was your history with this movie?
Well, this movie, I pretty much I conflate every single Julia Roberts movie in like any kind of rom-com. So I couldn't really remember this movie apart from any other movie.
Do you remember if you saw it in theaters?
I definitely did not see it in theaters.
Okay.
Because in 1990s, at that time I saw Twister in theaters instead.
That was the only
That was
movie.
back in the day when you saw
one movie per year.
One movie. I think it was one movie a decade.
Okay.
I may have splurged that decade because I also saw Beauty and the Beast that decade.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Will you tell us how old you were in 1997?
I'll tell you how. Okay, so I was born in 84. You do the math.
Yeah.
1 year older than Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 85.
And you already own a house?
I already own a podcast.
At the age of 52? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Come on.
Wait. I could almost retire.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You're pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, so did you like going into it, did you remember any parts of the movie like that stood out to you, or it's kind of all a mush of different Julia
I got to be
Roberts?
honest with you, I don't retain any details from any movies I've ever seen.
Good.
So how long ago did you watch this movie?
This movie, because I refreshed it. I did watch this sucker last night. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Pardon my French.
Whoa.
And,
It's not that kind of podcast.
So I did, and then I was like,
shit out.
and then pretty much I was like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember seeing this.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely have seen, because I've seen every Julia Roberts movie. Who has? And I've seen every. You know, I'm a big rom-com lad, if you will.
A rom-com lad.
I just love a rom-com.
I love that term.
It's really, I feel like the rom-com is the only time that I can feel like safe with a sincerity.
Sure.
Because everything else I need to just like break apart.
Yeah, there's like an earnestness to a lot of 90s rom-coms.
Yeah, that's the only time I'll just go with it.
Yeah.
Is that the only time you can also only feel safe in general?
Well, yeah, because it's like, yeah.
It's like no one's gonna get you when you're watching a rom-com. That would just be rude.
That would be like a horror movie.
So Zena, had you ever seen this?
No, I don't believe I've seen it.
Did you watch the trailer before?
Did watch the trailer.
And so what were your reactions from the trailer?
Well, I had a prediction as to what was going to happen
I like
in the
your
movie.
predictions. Ooh.
Should I disclose?
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought Julia Roberts was going to be the winner.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought she had it in the bag.
Yeah,
I thought Cam was going down.
Yeah.
I love this scene in the trailer where
where
Michael's chasing Kimmy, Julia Roberts is chasing Michael, and the old lady's watching. Just say they're lovely together.
Yeah. So Rachel, what do you remember? So I remember we definitely, as a family, we saw this in theaters.
Okay.
So you would have been about 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Or 6.
Or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't wanna rush to judgment.
Yeah. I remembered the main guy, Michael.
Yeah.
I remember him being such an asshole and thinking like he was not worth all of Julia Roberts' time and energy,
Right.
and he sucked, and he belonged with Cameron Diaz, who kind of sucks in the movie too.
Oh boy, we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Wait a minute.
Also, I remember that real life Michael Lynch,
Yes.
has a huge crush on
Yes.
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
So it was a
My
big missed
Wow, we're gonna
goodness.
fight, huh?
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
here's the thing. She's just
interesting.
kind of like blah in this movie.
How dare you? So yeah, that's.
I disagree also.
Oh man,
That
we're
was-
really.
M&M's, the M&M boys are coming together.
That was one of the reasons I had fond memories of it, because I remembered Cameron Diaz in the movie, and like it's funny to think back. Like, so I had a crush on her at 12 or 11, because this was before. Yeah, I was 11, but I must have had a crush. This wasn't the first movie where I had a crush on her. I had a crush on her since She's the One, which I think was like 94 or 95. So it's weird to think that I was like this 9-year-old being like, yeah, Cameron Diaz.
Ooh, baby.
But my memory of like my childhood crush on Cameron Diaz, I remember my most embarrassing moment of that is we had a family friend visiting. Our mom's friend Carolyn was coming to visit our house, and my desktop background was a picture of Cameron Diaz. And so this woman, she's like probably, like around our mom's age, and she's coming and seeing my room, and she sees the desktop background, and she's like, oh, who is that? And I was like, oh, it's Cameron Diaz. And she, at first, I think she was like very impressed, because she thought it was like a girl I knew, and it was like a girlfriend or something. Because you couldn't really tell her age from the picture. Like, she probably was like 20 or something in the picture.
Right.
And so she seemed like very impressed that I like knew this girl. And then I was like, she's like, so is that somebody you know? And I was like, no, she's an actress. And she's like, oh, like, you're a creepy kid who has a desktop background of this.
That seems pretty normal, though.
It seems normal, but I think like I just was very conscious of the like, do you know her? And I was like, no, I'm a weird fan. So let's get into it. So what did you guys think of My Best Friend's Wedding? Woo! Let's start with Matt.
Sorry, that's your line.
How did you feel? Did you feel like it held up to? Well, you didn't have much of a memory of it, but
Yeah, it
Oh, were you giving it a whoop rating?
Woo! I just heard that. Well, because I heard you do that on the podcast, and
Yeah.
it seemed to get pretty good reaction from the audience.
the audience loves it, eats it up.
There seemed to be a lot of fanfare, so I figured
Yeah.
I'd just go ahead and try it out for size.
Exactly.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
At first, you're thinking like, okay, it's like Julia Roberts. Yeah, of course I'm gonna root for Julia Roberts.
Right.
Why would I ever not?
Right.
And then it comes in, and then when Cameron Diaz comes in, I'm like, who does she think she is, stealing my Julia Roberts
Right.
man? But then this is when it got twist, because then when I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about it when she sang the karaoke. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
and just like in such earnest and like trying to sing it, but being
Right.
such a bad singer.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much I fell in love with
Yeah.
that character. I
Yeah.
was so endeared,
You
because
can't not love
in
Cameron
real
Diaz.
life I've actually had the moment where I have fallen in love with somebody singing karaoke.
Oh, wow.
A terrific song.
Yeah.
Just done terribly.
Yeah.
But just like so good. That scene, and then like the crowd was like booing, and then like won them over with just
Right.
being so incredibly
Right.
endearing. I thought she was an utter genius in that scene.
But overall positive.
Overall positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rachel, how about you?
I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's a very uncomfortable movie to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because Julia Roberts is just so
Deranged.
mean.
Yeah.
She's so mean.
Right.
Yeah, and that scene where she's doing the karaoke, that's just it's just so heartless.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Poor little Cameron Diaz
Exactly.
in that scene. So I should clarify. It's not that I don't like Cameron Diaz in
You
this movie.
love Cameron.
I like her, but she's just, she's just like a helpless little baby squirrel.
But you're saying you don't like the character, or you don't like Cameron Diaz playing that character?
I don't know. What did I say to begin with that led to this?
You felt bad for her in the karaoke?
No, what did I say that made you mad at me in the beginning?
Oh,
That
you
I
thought she was
didn't-
blah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, she's kind of blah in the movie, and Michael, the love interest, he's kind of blah, too.
Right.
I have to be careful that I'm not referring to you.
Right.
Who is, of course,
Not
never
blah at all. Never been blah.
Never
a
been
day in my
blah in
life.
his life. Yeah, so So that's what I think.
Yeah. And Xena, how about you?
I liked it a lot. Definitely got some whoops.
Ooh.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it kept me on the edge of my seat. 'Cause
Oh,
like
wow.
I said, I really thought I knew what was going to happen. And I love how quickly Julia Roberts goes, as soon as she finds out that her best friend's getting married, she goes into like panic mode.
Right.
Like, she becomes a wild woman.
Right.
Like, chain smoking cigarettes. She's just like in it to win it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that you guys liked it. I
Really?
hated it.
You hated it?
Yeah, I felt like it
Weird.
didn't hold up at all. I thought everybody was going to hate it.
I think
Interesting.
I actually expected it to be worse because with Splash, I feel like I was so disappointed by
Right.
Splash that I was just like,
Your expectations were
all
low.
these movies are gonna suck now,
Yeah.
even though Multiplicity was made.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just had very low expectations going into it, and because of that, I think it was better.
Right.
Wait, so I'm feeling like a hypocrite because one reason I said that I didn't like Splash was that it was like this unrequited love story, but it wasn't because they get together
Right.
and end.
Yeah.
So that was just not true.
It was
And then this one
that
is
was
an unrequited
inaccurate,
love
and this
story.
one is,
and you love
and
it.
I loved it. So maybe that is
You
what I
have
like.
to do some deep
I have to
introspection.
really reflect on my life.
You should probably talk about that in therapy.
But the other thing that jumped out to me is I remember both of them being much older. Like I thought it was going to be like, oh, if we're not married by the time we're like 35.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I had that
I was
too.
thinking that too. I was like, what? They're adults.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Like I can't.
How are they so young?
Now that I'm older than actors and actresses that I grew up with, I can't imagine them being older than me at the time. So when she said like I just turned 28, I'm like, what? Julia Roberts is younger than me? Like that was crazy. I mean, in reality, Julia Roberts was, I think, she was 34 when she shot this, and Cameron Diaz was supposed to be 20, but she was 25. So yeah, like I thought that was really funny that it was like I can't be 28 and single.
Yeah, isn't the agreement usually more like 40?
Yeah, something much later where you've done a lot of dating.
Rachel, what age are we getting married if we're...
I thought you guys already were married.
You were married.
Oh, but I forgot. I've had a mild amnesia today.
Oh, but I forgot.
Who are you?
The other
That's right.
The other thing that jumped out to me just from the beginning, and then it persists throughout the movie, how insanely inappropriate Dermott Mulroney and Julia Roberts are with each other. So it's like, okay, they dated 10 years ago. He calls her up right before he's getting married. He's like, Jules, I'm scared. I need you. Come to me.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why he's such an asshole.
Yeah, he's
'cause
just like constantly leading her on.
He's just like, hey baby,
Yeah.
come to my wedding and we'll fuck at the altar.
Yeah. And he walks in on her when she's changing, and he's like, just stares at
You
her
look
like a
good
creeper.
without clothes? What?
Oh, do you remember that? So we talked in a previous episode about lines that we replayed over and over again.
Oh.
That's one of them. Because we had this
That's funny
debate.
because while I was watching it, I was like, is that what he said? But I don't know. It was like an obsessive thought in my head.
So what did you guys think that he said? He said he comes in, he sees her in the underwear. What was the line he says to her? You look good.
Without clothes.
Yeah, that's when he was leaving. Yeah, that's
So
what I heard.
I think when we were kids, we couldn't tell if he said without clothes or with that clothes on. Like that clothes as in like that underwear. And he like rewound it a bunch of times.
That doesn't seem right.
Dermott Mulroney hates grammar.
Can you imagine the script, writing a script that you say you look good with that clothes on? Okay.
There's a lot of weird lines in this script.
Yeah.
Do you think we did that with mom and dad, or did just you and I do that?
I feel like that's a you and I thing. Where we
Yeah,
we
mom
just,
and dad would have probably been like, that makes no sense. Just move on.
And then like when she first sees him in the airport, he comes and hugs her, and they're rubbing noses
rubbing
together.
noses.
Cameron Diaz is right there, and she's like, "Oh, hello! Like this is this girl you're constantly comparing me to."
Right, and then at the karaoke, when they're just like, ah, ha, 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 They're so close to each other.
They're such assholes.
They're being such assholes, talking about all their favorite memories. In no way are trying to like rope.
Yeah, they're
Cameron
boxing
Diaz
her out of the.
in.
They're actively boxing her out.
She's like trying to get in, like, oh, like I know this thing.
I've been to
and
Florence.
I've been to Florence.
I like Florence. And then she
Shut up.
she says, I like Florence again. The exact same.
And then
Oh, you should take her. She's like, she's perky.
Julia
You should
Roberts
take her
just like
there.
looks like
She's perky. That's
So-
right.
It's so
God.
condescending.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely want to talk more about that karaoke scene.
Let's talk about it.
'Cause
Let's
he-
get
Let's talk
into
about it now.
Oh my
Why wait?
Dermott Mulroney is. She gets up and starts singing. So first of all, they force her to sing, which is so cruel because
So
she says she
cruel.
like doesn't know how to sing, and then the audience starts booing her. Dermott Mulroney, instead of being like supportive at all, he just looks disgusted. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm with this person who's bad at singing.
Yeah.
And then the audience comes around.
Even after we forced her to sing
Right.
when she said no.
And then the audience comes around and he's like, oh, now I like her. Now that
Yeah.
the audience approves of her,
What a
I know.
fucking dick
Yeah,
that guy
he's
is.
such
that
an
guy
ass.
sucks.
And then we've got that karaoke scene, and then we go to the wedding. There's like constantly like kind of moving between all these different scenes. So, well, I guess that's what a movie is.
You're constantly like having a scene, telling a piece of the story, going to the next scene.
Then a new scene starts.
I
New
hate
part
that.
of the story.
I hate when they leave a scene.
But they're just like jumping between these different events. So it's like they're at this karaoke
Right.
bar. Then I guess it makes sense because it's a wedding. But like he says this is for a day wedding. So then I think it's after that they go to Cameron Diaz takes her in the elevator and brings her to meet the family.
Yeah.
That was something I remembered as like such a weird scene where she
That's
hits
a
the
weird-
emergency stop button.
Yeah, that is
That's
a weird
weird.
scene. That's
Yeah.
the only time that Cameron Diaz is not bland, actually.
Right.
She shows a little oomph.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's like, don't steal my man.
Right. No, she doesn't really.
Well,
she
she
says
kind
like,
of-
I surrender to you. I just trust that you're not gonna
Yeah,
take
that's
him.
true. That's true.
That's why I
does
think
do
she's such an utter. I think she's the unsung utter genius in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, but also I've had that moment. There's no more better like catharsis than when you're mad at your current girlfriend, boyfriend, and you're commiserating with an ex about them. I've had this experience once in my life.
Oh, I've never had that.
Where I've had we're actually like it started antagonistic. I was talking to the ex about something. It was but then somehow it like turned and we just started like, and it was just like the most like catharsis I've ever had
Oh,
in my
really?
life. And
While
I really
Complaining
and I
about
saw
your
that.
current partner?
Yes.
Oh.
And it was crazy. It felt so dirty because it's like
What were the kind of things you were complaining about?
it was literally just very nitpicky, like detail things that don't actually matter
Like
at all.
stuff
but
like
just
that.
just little
Yeah.
things that we
Yeah.
noticed, and it was so mean. It was
Uh-huh.
like it was just like the meanest I've ever been. But I've never felt.
Wait, you
so
were
just,
talking
like,
to their ex or
Yeah,
your own
Uh-huh.
ex?
their
Oh,
ex.
their
I was
ex.
talking
Okay.
to their ex.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
do they
that
say in the
sounds
elevator?
great.
Like he snores and he's got this
Yeah.
snarly snore
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
mucusy and
Yeah.
what else do they complain about?
Yeah.
Oh, he slurps his soup through
Yeah.
his
But
tea.
don't touch that one.
Don't-
That's
That's a trademark.
That is
What does that mean?
It's pretty gross.
It really is the word.
And then they go into the party and they meet the vengeful sluts, the cousins, which I thought was a funny thing because they know that they're always referred to as vengeful sluts, so that's how they introduce themselves.
Wait, is that? I totally missed that.
I miss that
They,
too.
because in the car when she first meets Julia Roberts, she's like, "You'll meet the other bridesmaids, these vengeful sluts from wherever."
Oh, yeah.
And then they come in and meet Julia Roberts. They're like, "We're the vengeful sluts." So apparently that's just how Cameron
Oh,
Diaz describes them
wow.
to everybody.
And one of the vengeful sluts.
I totally missed this. You got it?
You missed it?
I missed it.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
No,
It's Brenda
it's
Chenoweth.
Brenda from 6 Feet Under. Yeah, I totally forgot.
What do you mean you missed it? Like you didn't
I didn't
figure
notice
it
that
out
was
while-
her.
You didn't notice it was
No,
her?
I looked it up
What?
on IMDb.
Okay, 6 Feet Under, our family's favorite
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, favorite movie. That they broke in favorite 90-hour movie.
Yes.
That's another thing where there's like a series of scenes. I would say 6 Feet Under is.
This is a good moment for
Would you like to have a sidebar conversation?
So anyway,
We'll split into separate podcasts.
this gives us some idea of like how off base we're being. How way too.
You guys don't know 6 Feet Under?
No, we didn't grow up with that movie, actually.
It's really a show.
TV show.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a great TV show.
I actually had separate parents than you guys. And
What?
a separate
I didn't think that was possible.
sum of experiences.
Whoa.
No,
growing
that doesn't sound right.
Was your life
Trippy.
like a series of scenes?
Like you'd have an experience and then you'd have a new experience after that.
My life is like 12 Angry Men, just one scene.
One longer.
Everyone's angry.
Yeah,
And then roll credits, death.
that sounds about right.
Perfect.
So yeah, they're at that party. Then they go to the baseball game. My favorite thing about the baseball game is he introduces. Did you guys catch the name of the company he works for?
No.
Sport Magazine. That's literally the name of the company. He's like senior editor from Sport Magazine. And then later on when she writes the email, she's like, to Sam, head editor from Sport Magazine. And that was like, I can't think of a name for this magazine. Whatever, we'll just call it Sport Magazine until they come up with something better.
I hope there was a brainstorm for that. It's like, we need a name for a magazine. What do they do? Sports? Boom. Let's take lunch.
We get to the part where like we find out that Dermott Mulroney is making Cameron Diaz drop out of her undergraduate degree. She's a student at UChicago, and he's making her drop out to follow him to be a sports writer. Which, like, it's firmly established he's not making money. It's a terrible life. And it doesn't seem necessary at all for her to drop out. But he's
No.
just like, yeah, you need to follow me around.
Yeah.
Well, Julia Roberts contrives this conspiracy where she tricks Cameron Diaz into, like, Cameron Diaz's dad is super rich, and so she tricks Cameron Diaz into getting the dad to offer him a job. And then Dermott Mulroney is so mad that Cameron Diaz is offering him a job.
Yeah.
That scene was horrifying.
Yeah.
He's like calling off the wet. She's just like, oh, you should work for my dad, and he's just furious with her
And she's saying for like a few months.
for a few months.
If you, yeah, I mean, what she's saying is a very nice thing.
Yeah,
And so that part I didn't really understand. Like, why did Julia Roberts know that that was going to be such an issue?
well, I think she knows that it was a shot to his pride because like he has a crappy job and like she's trying to get him to do another job, so like she's ashamed of his job.
Prideful ass.
And she also was like pretty rude to him. She's like, you need to get a grown-up job. Julia Roberts tells Dermott Mulroney, you need to get a grown-up job.
Yeah.
It's like, he's 28 and he's a sports writer. That seems like a reasonable job.
Can we go over his name real quick?
Dermott Mulroney.
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 Marie.
Alright.
But it's just like, they have this abusive relationship where he gets up and she's sobbing.
Sobbing. She's like sobbing and screaming
Yeah.
in the middle of a restaurant. Everybody's just like,
Julia Roberts is just
Whatever.
leaving her out to dry.
yeah.
And she's just like tears are streaming down her face. And it's not until she's just like groveling and crying and like, I'll do whatever you want. I'll drop out of school. I'll do whatever.
She's like, please, please.
And Norman's like, yeah, you will. And they're like, okay, yeah, now now
man.
the wedding's back on.
He's like, oh man, that was close.
And
We
it like
almost-
brings them closer together. So me
Right.
and Julia were like, damn it!
Right.
Damn it!
yeah.
Didn't work.
Yep.
And so at this point, we finally get Rupert Everett. So Rupert Everett is Julia Roberts' best friend / editor. That's the funny thing. They do a lot of work to establish that she's a food writer, and then that never comes up.
Except for when she uses the metaphor. at
Yeah,
the
she has
end
to.
about Jello.
In the very end, she uses a metaphor, and that's
And
the only
probably
reason. But yeah, Rupert Everett comes. I think. How do we all feel about Rupert Everett?
Oh my god, I love him.
Love him.
Love him.
4 more years.
Yeah. So charming.
So good.
So charming. So, yeah, I mean, George really saves the day because it's like, up until this point, it's just almost unbearable how uncomfortable it is that Julia Roberts is being so mean and
Right.
conniving.
Right.
And
And
then-
nobody's telling her not to.
And nobody's telling her
Everybody's
not
like,
to.
oh, Julia Roberts, you're so charming. What a great person.
Nobody, a lot of people don't know.
I feel like it's kind of obvious. She's still being inappropriate in front of everybody, and they're like, "Oh, that's the woman that like everybody."
Well, everybody's in love with her. That's
no,
why.
everybody in Kimmy's family knows that he prefers Julia. It's just- like they say to her when she
yeah,
arrives,
yeah.
she's like, "Oh, you're the woman that Michael measures every woman against," and they're all fine with it.
Yeah, that is weird.
So yeah,
So-
Rupert Everett comes.
So then Rupert Everett comes, and it's just like a sigh of relief. It just
Yeah.
feels so good because he really is. He's very clear with her that she needs to be honest and stop
Right.
doing all her little tricks.
Right.
But he's just a very caring, compassionate soul.
Yeah.
He accepts her,
Yeah.
but he's also encouraging her and saying, do the right thing.
But then, of course, she doesn't take his advice and she lies and says he's her boyfriend. How did you guys feel about
her fiance?
her fiance?
Yeah.
But how did you guys feel about that? Where
Oh, well, I mean,
Dermot
it just-
Mulroney is meeting him.
Is meeting him? How do
Yeah,
I
he-
feel about the meeting?
Yeah, so they meet. They meet in like the
Sounds like
fitting.
you've got some feelings.
I've
about
got some
it.
feelings about
Tell
it.
us about it.
There's a scene where they get in the cab together after the fitting room. They go to another scene. It's one of those transitions between a different scene.
One of those scene to scene kind of rituals.
Yeah.
But Rupert Everett gets in the cab with Julia Roberts and starts grabbing her boobs, and she bats his hands away.
Right.
Do you remember this?
I didn't remember it from before, but I remember it from watching it.
Oh, but do you remember the trivia that our mom told us about?
No.
Oh, so she had somehow read in an interview or something that scene was ad-libbed and Rupert Everett just spontaneously grabbed her boobs. But I remember the way she told us was she's like, and Julia Roberts has a thing where she doesn't like when men grab her boobs. So she pushed his hands away. And at the time I was like, oh, okay. And then as an adult, I'm like, wait, what does that mean? Julia Roberts doesn't like having her boobs touched by random people she's
men?
not with, or
Is
just
that a
anybody?
thing of hers?
It's a
That's just
phobia.
a strange thing.
It's an illness, really.
When I was a kid, I think I just assumed she meant in general. She doesn't even intimate partners to touch her boobs. But I think that can't be what she meant.
No.
It's just Julia Roberts has this weird thing, this weird quirk where she doesn't like strangers to grab her boobs.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm looking forward to hearing your response to that.
Oh, and so Rupert Everett is charming the entire family. Everybody loves Rupert Everett, as well they should. He slaps Cameron Diaz's ass, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that.
And she's delighted.
She loves it.
Yeah.
The two of them should have gotten
Yeah,
together. at the
I
end.
wanted that to happen.
Their chemistry was way better than any other
Right.
chemistry that was happening in the
Right.
entire movie.
But the other thing I love about Rupert Everett is he's just constantly pimping out Julia Roberts and putting her in these really uncomfortable situations. And it's yeah, she's finally getting what she deserves.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
he
there's
does
that
such a good
scene
job with
at
that.
the crab shack. What did you guys think of the spontaneous song?
I'm all for it because
Yeah.
I always look in rom-coms sort of has the same rules as musicals, anything like that. So it's I have
Right.
no issue. I love anything like that.
Yeah.
It's fair game for me. But you know what I did want to say about Rupert Everett in this movie is I would describe him with having quite a good deal of panache.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you what happened. I I looked up a bunch of reviews for this movie, and
You looked up the word panache.
that's what I did next. Don't bury the lead. And then in be it positive, be it negative.
Yeah.
The one through line was just positive Rupert Everett, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
all use
Yeah.
the description of panache.
Oh, yeah.
So then I made a note in my notebook that I'm going to use the word panache to describe
You
Rupert
achieved it.
Everett,
Yeah.
so I can look like a big movie buff.
A real
guy.
Rupert Everett.
A real man about town. Rupert Everett wise. Yeah.
I love when they break out singing because it was all the singing and music that I missed from Splash.
Oh, yeah. You had a thirst for
Right.
it.
Which
Yeah.
we discussed in our last podcast in
Yeah.
case you're not up to date.
Yeah, go back and re-listen to every episode in
I
case you
didn't
don't get
listen to
that
that
joke.
one.
Oh, gosh. You're really missing out.
Listen out.
There's that scene on the boat where they're taking this ferry ride on the Chicago River or whatever that is. What did you guys think of that?
What do you mean?
Go on.
So I thought it was so weird. Dermott Mulroney is they're both setting it up to be so romantic. Dermott Mulroney has to know. He's just talking about telling somebody your feelings.
He's
and
let's have one more night together.
yeah, yeah, and he's this is our last. You've been the woman in my life all my life.
Yeah.
And she's yeah, you've been the man in my life.
This is one of the scenes I was oh, Julia's got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Rupert was saying that him and Kimmy don't even have a song.
Oh yeah.
Not even a song.
Don't even have
Is that something that used to exist and is not as big a deal anymore? I couldn't
think
tell.
it's not as big a deal anymore.
Have you guys had songs with people you've been in
Do we
relationships
have a
with?
song?
Do we have a song?
I have.
You
Can
have?
I tell you a terribly embarrassing story?
Yes, please.
One time I was dating this person, and
Okay.
we both had the same sober date.
Sober
And
date?
Sober date, like it's a thing, In the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Community.
In the community.
In the
yeah.
community.
I thought you were talking about like you went on a sober
Sober
date together.
Oh, I see. I can understand. But then we used to make mix CDs for each every month, like, or whatever. Well, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
But then at the end, for some reason, our song became Champagne Supernova.
Oh, yeah. Oasis.
By the band Oasis.
Yeah.
You might know them as being better than the Beatles, bigger than the
Oh,
Beatles.
yeah, I've heard that.
One time, so then we broke up, and then I was I was really sad, and I had relapsed, and I was at some dive bar, and there was just some kind of just a dirty band, and they started playing Champagne Supernova, and then I drunkenly called her up and just held my phone to the trashy rendition of Champagne Supernova, and
That went
now we're
over?
married with children.
That's great.
I don't know, but we
Did she-
digress.
Was it? How
It's all
was
about
it
digressions.
received?
Huh?
How was it received? Do you remember?
I don't know. I think I lost my phone that night.
And then you could never contact her again.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out. I don't think it
Yeah.
panned out
she
for me.
probably didn't.
Like Julia Roberts
would fall
before
for
me.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to having a song.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you guys had songs?
Not really.
I think I had a song with my college girlfriend because we thought like that was the thing that couples are supposed to have because we had seen 90s movies.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever like we've been listening to a song together and been like, oh my gosh, this is so meaningful to us. We should make this our song.
Right.
I feel like for me, I've had songs with people, but like once a relationship is over, I feel like the song. I mean, that's a little more of a memorable
never-
story, but
Yeah.
Never hear
once-
the song again.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like poof.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess we don't have
We
a
don't
song.
have a song. so
Oh,
we
you don't
to
even
work
have a
on that.
song.
Ooh, could we?
Julia
pick you-
Roberts is
We
gonna
don't even
break
have a
you guys
song.
up.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Let's pick you a song right here, right now.
Let's pick a song.
Champagne Supernova.
Oh wait, we do have a song.
Okay.
Imagine me and you, and
and
you
you
and me, and
I
me and you and you and me, and you and me,
Guys,
and
we're
me
gonna
and
pay
you
royalties.
and you and me, and me and you, and you and you. Yep.
You see how we have different parts. Sometimes I say me, she says you.
Yeah.
We switch it up.
We harmonize well.
And thank you for joining us on that.
I do the words. I didn't know if I was allowed, but now it's our. If you're
More than
here
welcome.
and I'm here and you're here, isn't it our song?
Exactly.
Fat Times at Ridgemont.
wow.
Thank you guys, because movies.
We
Because
should do that
movies.
one. Oh, though I think you don't have like a strong association with that one.
Also, I just watched that, I
Oh.
think, for the first time ever.
Oh dear.
recently.
Oh, I love that.
I don't
That's in
know
my top
that
5. So the other thing that I enjoyed about this movie is how novel email is in 1997, where it's like this very exotic thing she's doing, and it's not represented in a way that actually is how email works, because when she writes to the editor, she just types in his name and title, and it's just like, email will know what to do. And she's got this plan where she's going to send an incriminating letter from Cameron Diaz's father,
Right.
making it seem like they're plotting against Dermott Mulroney, and she is going to send it from the father's computer. But this is a crazy plan. She types out this it didn't really need to be this complicated. She has this really long letter that she types up in the few seconds before he comes into his office.
Yeah.
And so she's just writing up this long thing. And then I actually had a very different memory of this from what it actually was. So she writes the letter and she's like, no, I can't send this. That would be crazy. And then she closes it and it says, do you want to save it or delete it? And she's like, oh, I'll just save it. And in my memory, she was saving it because it was like a halfway point between
Not sure.
fully committing not to do it and fully committing to do it.
Right.
But it seemed, what was your guys'
was
interpretation?
I thought she was more planning on bringing him back
Yeah.
and saying, look at what I found.
Right. It was even more devious than what I thought.
Right.
I thought she
Which is not a great approach, because what is she gonna do? Say
I was snooping on this computer in his
snooping
drafts
around.
folder.
Yeah, and then look at it and
Look at it at the perfect right time.
yeah.
But yeah, the other thing I thought was so funny was like, because as a kid I just never got that, and so when they come back to the building and she's desperate to get in, I thought it was because she'd had a change of heart and she doesn't want anything bad to happen.
Right.
But
That's
actually,
what I thought.
no, it's because she's so desperate to like execute her evil plan.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have to get in. I have to break up this marriage. And she's so mad that it doesn't work out.
So evil.
And then it like actually works slightly better than what she's hoping for, because his secretary, the other thing that was so funny, he's like, oh, I have several emails in my drafts folder. Secretary, can you send those out? Because that's what you do with email. You write them and you're like, I don't want
to do all the work here. You better get my secretary in on this.
to do the second half of email, which is to hit the send button. So he has the secretary send out all of his draft emails. And
then Rupert, Michael in the movie.
Dermott Mulroney,
Yes,
yeah.
not Rupert. Michael in the movie.
How dare you conflate our favorite Rupert.
MITM.
So quickly gets a response in the mail? Or
I
like,
think it was a fax.
It was a fax, okay.
Oh, what?
I think it was.
It was like email to fax?
I think his boss faxed him a letter at the hotel.
Oh, right. And said, like, you should see
You should
this.
know what you're marrying
You should
into.
marry...
Right.
You should marry the father. You should marry Rupert Everett. Yeah, and so he is immediately angry. And Julia Roberts seems to not really have any remorse for it. No, she does. She's like, sits against the door and she seems to feel
She
bad.
thinks she's
And
the
she
scum of the
runs
earth.
into Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. And Zena,
Big
did you
surprise.
recognize that guy at all?
I recognized his face.
Okay.
It'd be strange if
Not
you
like his
recognized another
legs.
part of his body. That's a
Zena
Giamatti
legs
cast
girl.
that way.
I've seen those feet before.
But did you know from what, or you just knew it's a familiar
I
face?
can't like cite another
Okay.
movie he's been in.
Yeah, his big movie was the one that I always associated him with is Private Parts, but he's on the show Billions. He's the main character in Billions. He's in a ton of stuff. But they have kind of a sweet scene, but it seems mostly irrelevant to the plot. She's
Right.
saying like how she did such an awful thing, and
Right.
she seems almost suicidal. She's like smoking a cigarette, and she's like, "You should arrest me. You should do a citizen's arrest. I'm a terrible person."
Huh. Oh.
Am I projecting? Uh-oh.
I don't know. Projecting.
I have to do some introspection.
It is like her rock bottom part in
Right.
the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
And then Dermott Mulroney opens the door and she falls. There's a lot of Julia Roberts falling down
There's a
in
lot
this
of
movie.
people falling. in
It's
this.
just Julia Roberts.
No, it's not just Julia Roberts. Remember when she shoves off that guy as she going to steal the
bread truck?
bakery truck?
Oh, that's
and
true.
that man,
There's a guy, yeah.
he flips way in the air.
Oh. But Julia Roberts does fall a lot. She falls in the beginning when she finds out they're getting
I don't
married.
disagree. I'm just saying there's a
She
lot
falls
of
when she's
falling.
writing an email.
She falls madly in love.
She falls madly in love. I feel like the writer's like, you know what's really funny? Julia
Falling.
Roberts falling down. She's very poised. She's very, very glamorous. It'd be funny if she falls.
Nobody will expect it, even though we just did it a few times.
So then there's like a super creepy, the creepiest thing that happens in the movie. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
When she kisses his dad, or
Creepier than that. The ring gets stuck on her hand.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Meanwhile, she's been wearing his wedding ring the entire day, and he doesn't know. He spent the
didn't
day with
notice.
her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it's stuck on my finger.
And then he like wiggles it around. You can see how much it's wiggling all over on
Right.
her finger,
Yeah.
like just about to fly off.
Right. And then, can somebody say what happens next?
he sucks
I'm gonna get
his
this one
own
to
dick.
He sucks his own dick. And then she's so disgusted that she takes off the ring.
Zena. I've lost my appetite.
He sucks her finger. And
That's
he sucks
true.
the
Yeah, he
ring
did do
off
that.
her finger.
the truth.
It's so gross. Do you think it's supposed to be like a sexy
I think it's supposed to
thing?
be sexy.
That was so gross.
It's terrible.
But yeah, he's saying like he called the wedding off. They're playing this very sweet music, like it's like celebrating Julia Roberts' triumph when this is a terrible
I
thing
think
that
it's
she's
just
done.
really channeling like what she's feeling.
Right.
You know what I'm feeling right now?
What?
Do you not like it when I suck your fingers? I didn't know this.
It's fine unless she's
No,
wearing a
I
wedding
don't
ring.
like it when what's his name?
Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch. Like when he sucks my fingers. He's so gross.
Yeah. What would your least favorite finger to be sucked be?
my least favorite finger.
Yeah, if somebody had to
Least
suck your
favorite
finger, what would your
I
least
think
favorite
thumb.
Oh yes.
Agreed.
Yes, totally.
I feel like
how
thumb
sick
does
would that
like
be?
grosser stuff. I feel like if my fingers are
Because
getting
that's
dirty.
like that's like
Infantilization. Yeah, I could see
I
that.
think the ring finger actually is out of all the fingers would probably be the best, like the most.
That's true. Yeah.
Is that right?
I
Not
think
the
so.
pinky?
Oh, there's something weird about the pinky penis. I mean, it's the smallest finger, sure.
Pinky,
So
I
can
feel like
understand-
I'm just thinking like mob associations. I feel like that's what the mob does.
They do that?
No.
They suck each other's pinkies?
But I feel like they do something with pinkies, and so I just assume
They suck
that's a
them.
mob ritual.
Yeah.
You're out of the mob. Suck my pinky. So yeah, she breaks up the wedding. He agrees to call it off, and then the next day she goes to the wedding, which is still happening, and she's angry that the wedding is still on. And she shows up to the wedding. What did you guys think of her outfit at the wedding?
Cute little crop top.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, yeah.
I said, get a girl.
I thought it was pretty trashy.
Yeah.
It's like her,
That's why we
her
were
belly
saying,
button
get a girl!
Yeah.
It's like showing off her belly button at a wedding where everybody's in this formal wear.
Yeah, but
She
our
was
guy.
a woman on a mission.
So she's
She ain't got time for no covering of her belly button.
Who's got time for covering the old belly button? No one got time for covering the old belly button. You're so true.
I did like that scene where she's trying to convince Cameron Diaz to cut her losses because Cameron Diaz is creme brulee and what Michael really wants is Jell-O.
right.
Cameron Diaz is like, I can be Jell-O.
You could never be
You could
Jell-O.
never be Jell-O.
Fantastic.
Creme brulee could never be Jell-O. You could never be Jell-O.
It's great.
But it's saying she's claiming to be Jell-O, which seems like an odd claim for somebody whose job is they're like a food critic.
I don't think she really knows that much about food.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to know. What are like very sophisticated foods? Creme brulee and not sophisticated Jell-O. Okay.
What's your critique? Yummy, yum, 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 yum.
I'm writing this up as yummy, yummy, yummy.
Yuckaroo. Bad food, yuck.
And so she's like jumping between them, and then the thing I thought was insane is like she finally confesses to him, and she kisses him on his wedding day, like at his wedding. Anybody could be around.
Right. She just goes in for the kiss. She doesn't wait for anything.
Right.
She just goes for it.
Right.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
You're just allowed to kiss whoever you want.
Yeah.
Kiss.
And then of course who sees them but Cameron
Uh-oh,
Diaz.
that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Always snooping around.
Creme brulee walks up.
Like yeah, they have this like crazy car chase where they're just stealing cars. They're just like going into the cars that people have parked.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts comically steals a bread truck.
Yeah.
Well, and then she calls Rupert Everett while
And
she's in the
he's
bread truck.
so good.
He's great.
He's so good.
Right.
He says, Julie Roberts, who's chasing you?
Right.
No
Oh,
one.
Right.
look at this goosebumps.
For the record, there are goosebumps on Matt's arm.
His wisdom and his
Really goosing up.
It's just so funny.
But Rupert really needs to get together with number
Cameron Diaz?
three. Number
Oh,
three. They
number
would be
three?
such
Oh,
good
number
buds.
three from Multiplicity.
I know, I was thinking that too.
I
Yeah.
saw the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw?
Saw, yeah.
Well, you
It's a
saw
very
it on
visual
your
medium
phone.
we have.
So, Matt, do you want to speak on why that gave you goosebumps?
There's actually, I counted, and this movie gave me goosebumps 3 times. And actually, the first time, it wasn't even that, but it was the retelling. It was reminiscing about that time. There's just something, the thing about rom-coms is I'm able to give, like, I'll look over any kind of thing, like the crazy exposition, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a care. There's just the
Don't give a
follow-
care.
I just couldn't give a care about that. I give anything because it's my only place that I can feel
Exactly, yeah.
just safe,
Sure.
feeling these feelings vicariously
Right.
through these characters,
Yeah.
which I can't do in real life because then I could get hurt for real life.
Right.
And then you know,
The movie
can't have
ends.
that, yeah. But there was just there's a few sentiments. I wrote down a few of the lines that actually gave me goosebumps. That scene on the boat when they say, and then the moment passes you by, and then it was very just literally like they passed
Yeah.
through the thing, and it was like,
Yeah.
on paper awful,
Yeah.
but lovely.
Yeah, it
Who
was
hasn't had a
nicely
moment,
shot.
Who hasn't had the courage to just like in that moment,
Yeah.
like you recognize this
Yeah.
is the moment
This is the
when you
time.
were gonna do it,
Right.
And then you just don't, and
Yeah.
Right.
then the trajectory of your life
Right.
is different. It's
Yeah.
just it's just like this movie deals with like the only things that matter in life.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And then who's chasing you? It's just so.
Yeah,
it's just
that was a good line.
really just
Such a
brings
good-
it just brings
Yeah.
it into focus and just like
Right.
and it's just like you're right. It's just like and then that thing of just like having to let this thing and like sort of being like acting in contrary to how your feelings are
Right.
feeling. That I just love that theme
Yeah.
so much, and I'm getting goosebumps just punting.
Like having to put on a brave face.
Yeah,
and-
putting a brave and
Yeah.
doing the right thing, even
Yeah.
though your heart is broken.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the movie did a good job in terms of capturing that feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you want to give us your other quotes at some time that gave you goosebumps?
What else?
What did I just
What
say?
else do I have?
What?
I thought he gave us all three.
Did I give all three? Where
I
were
think-
my
I thought we
quotes?
just went through
What?
one.
Oh,
2 at least.
then when she
Oh,
just
no.
like in just sincerity asks, "What will he do?" What like when she asks him
Oh
when
my
she's,
gosh.
"Oh my god, what will he do?" It's like that's exactly that's why we don't do any that fear of just like what will they
Oh,
do? Yeah,
yeah.
what will he do?
And once again, Rupert coming
Oh.
back with the he's not. Oh, here they come again.
It's goosing up over here. It's Goose City. I tell
Shame
you
this,
what.
this is a podcast because you guys really should be seeing this.
We should get some pictures put on our
goosebumps.
website.
We got a lot. Yeah, someone's got a live tweet.
Yeah.
This.
But yeah, Rupert doesn't sugarcoat it. He tells her the truth. Like, you know, he might say no. And
Yeah.
But he even really says like that is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna say
He's-
goodbye.
He's gonna choose Kimmy and you're gonna stand by him at the wedding and you're gonna say goodbye.
yeah.
Ugh, so wise.
Yeah.
So wise.
And then that's easy. You can then you're gonna do what you actually came here to do, like the actual truth of it.
Yeah.
You're gonna kiss him and say goodbye and go home.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That was a nice line.
love him.
This might be the best movie ever.
So,
Jeez.
then they kind of cut that
flawless.
sweetness with this crazy scene. Oh no, then there's the scene in the train station where like she confesses to him and he doesn't really respond. He just like she's like, "Oh, I'm pond scum," and he's like, "Yeah, you're the pus that feeds on the
Yep.
fungus that's like just like really
Yeah.
gross thing to her." And like
And
never
then he's like, but I still love ya. You're just like so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's fine though.
right, and she admits that she sent the email, and he's like, he at least is appropriately angry about that, but then he very quickly gets over it.
So quickly.
Yeah.
And
I'm
like
still
goes
on
back
the
to kind
edge.
of like leading her on again.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm still on the edge at this point. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
they're gonna get together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah.
that scene where she. This is the thing I thought was so funny is like Julia Roberts calls the wedding to try to figure out where Kimmy is, and the cousin is like, somebody made a prank call saying that she was at the stadium, but that can't be true. Why would she be at a stadium? And Julia Roberts is like, yeah, right. Okay, bye. I'm going to a stadium. And then she finds her in the bathroom of Cubs Stadium, and then they have this confrontation.
And Cam says, "You bitch."
And then all the women are excited about a cat fight. Is that
Oh my
something
gosh,
women get excited about?
I mean, people get excited about fights.
I feel like men get excited about cat fights. I feel like women wouldn't be like, a cat fight?
I don't know.
No, we love that shit.
Would you, like, if you saw a fight in a women's bathroom, could you imagine being like, ooh, a cat fight?
Like, I definitely wouldn't say it out loud, but I'd be like, ooh, what's going on there? But I love that audience that they have during that whole argument, that they're just so engrossed in, like, what's happening, and they're
Right.
not ashamed to listen to every single word of it and,
Right.
like, really show, like,
Right.
we're here, we've got your back, and
Right.
if anything goes down, like, we're here.
Right.
And they're just, like, going along with every wave of emotion.
And Cam and Julia are like explaining to the audience the
Right.
situation. Like, they're
Finally,
giving the
some
whole
exposition.
backstory.
That's so. I didn't notice because I have no scrutiny for anything. So to hear that, it's so funny.
So yeah, she like convinces her to marry Dermott Mulroney anyway, and she says like, "Oh, he likes you."
Dermott Mulroney?
Dermott Mulroney. I thought that like the craziest part to me was that Julia Roberts was still allowed to be at the
she was
wedding.
still the maid of
After all.
honor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like after everybody knows she did all this crazy stuff, she's standing up there at the altar, and Dermott Mulroney is like giving her these like little like knowing smiles, and it's like this person was like crazy to you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I
Just
mean, even
more
if it's
points for
like,
Cam.
even if you make up and get to a place where you're like, okay, like that was obviously a terrible thing that you did.
Right.
And we're going to move past it.
Right.
You don't just have her at the wedding. That's the same day.
Right.
That is the same
Like 2 hours
day.
later.
Cameron Diaz, I mean, I will give her this. She must be like the most forgiving person because
Right.
she just like
Yep.
she just fully re-embraces Julia Roberts as her maid of honor. It's not even like
she's so abused. Like she's so
Yeah.
afraid of Dermott Mulroney. She's so
Yeah.
desperate to be with him that she'll put up with anything that
That's
he's
so
putting her
true.
through.
Even at the wedding, I was on the edge. I was like, okay, now they're really gonna get together.
She's gonna do that. Does anybody have any reason?
I was like, they're really gonna fuck at the reception now.
And then her wedding toast was so inappropriate. She
Yeah.
calls attention to the fact that she tried to break up the wedding. She's like,
and she's crying.
I had a dream that some crazy person, wink, wink, wink to everybody,
and
tried
everybody's
to.
like,
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, that would be a crazy thing. that surely can't have other meanings. And then, what did you guys think of? She loans Cameron Diaz and Dermott Mulroney their song.
Uh-huh.
The,
I
like
know,
the song that she
terrible,
used to have with Dermott Mulroney. Like, super inappropriate.
very
Yeah,
inappropriate.
it's perfect though.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
The song.
Everything,
Or the
the
loaning.
loaning, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just perfect because this whole movie, I don't think anybody's really particularly likable in this movie whatsoever, and I thought they're making all the wrong decisions and
Including
everybody
George?
was bad. Oh, except for George. One
Right,
obvious
right.
exception.
Oh,
Goes without saying.
Oh my God, where are my
course.
manners? And it was, I didn't really, because usually there wasn't the thing where you're really, I wasn't exactly rooting for anybody, but I was just sort of following the heart of Julia Roberts and
Yeah.
where she's going throughout the whole movie. So
Yeah.
then everyone just misbehaving and just being terrible. I didn't really find issue with any of that. And
Yeah.
I kind of did feel it all sort of fit within their characters in the movie and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
But then, even the lending the song, it's like, in real life, it's a miserable, crazy thing to do. But
In the
I thought it
context
was
of a rom-com.
the context for a rom-com and these specifically lousy characters.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
right.
Yeah.
And he
Loved it.
gets up, this song starts playing, he gets up, and I was like, wait, which woman is he gonna dance with?
So even that far in, you were like, maybe they're gonna break
the very
up.
end.
Yes.
Yep.
I can't wait for my best friend's wedding too. I can't wait.
They're definitely gonna end up
Like,
together.
This time it's
together,
personal.
Well, I have some news for you, but I want to get through the movie.
I've got some news.
And so there's that one last scene. What did you guys think of the last scene?
Love that scene.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah,
it ends
perfect.
with George, of
Of course.
course.
Yeah, Rupert Everett shows up at the wedding, which means that he must have immediately gotten off the phone and been like, "Guys, I got to crash a wedding, flying to Chicago."
Oh,
Yeah.
it's always the drop of my hat. I love it.
And he hates flying.
Yeah,
What a
pre
sweet
9/11,
man.
you could just fly anywhere at any time
Right.
within a few
Totally.
hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, he shows up, and it's like she doesn't deserve Rupert Everett, but you feel kind of nice that Rupert Everett is going to take care of her.
Yeah. He's
Like,
so
so
sweet.
they actually reshot the ending. It was originally Julia Roberts meeting a different guy and being like, "Oh, like now I'm going to go off with you," and then they screened it for test audiences, and the audiences were like, "No, we want more Rupert Everett," and they were like, "Yes, correct."
Yeah.
Yeah, that
They
makes
brought him back.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really like that it ends with her not getting but that she just has like a sweet, comforting time with
Yeah.
Rupert Everett.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
the news I have for you about My Best Friend's Wedding 2 is it's called Homecoming. It's a TV show. Have you guys seen it?
No.
So
Are you sure it's not called Homewreckers?
So Homecoming stars Julia Roberts and Dermott Mulroney as a couple. Spoiler alerts for anybody planning to watch it, but Julia Roberts has suffered from memory loss. So I think that Homecoming takes place in the My Best Friend's Wedding extended universe.
Whoa.
And they're like in their 40s together and both kind of sad and have this depressing relationship. And they've forgotten their whole history, but that's why they're together.
Wow.
Wow.
So if you guys want more Dermott Mulroney and Julia Roberts, go watch Homecoming.
Is it out now?
Yeah, it's Amazon Prime.
This episode sponsored by Amazon Prime.
So yeah, were there other things about the movie? Anything else that we didn't cover?
I thought this was a good one for a moral of the story.
Oh, okay.
Matt, do you have a moral of the story? What do you think the moral is?
I don't want to go first, please.
This is another, like every single movie we watched is like there's
has
some
the
big
same-
lie throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's the same. It falls in line with the same sort of structure that we've had for every
Right.
moral so far. which is like there's two morals.
Yeah.
The first could be don't try to break up couples with your lies and deception.
Right.
Or do try to break up couples, but only with honesty, and then accept your fate.
Accept your fate, yeah. I feel like the moral is just go find Rupert Everett and hang out with him, do whatever he says. Yeah.
Moral is, get it, girl!
Do you have any other suggested morals?
Anyone?
Anyone who hasn't said one
Okay.
yet? I'm trying
Don't want
to...
to pressure anyone.
All right, so it's my turn to do the moral.
You did seem like deeply connected to this movie.
I thought, the fact that they didn't get they didn't get to. I mean, the moral is you can't really manipulate as a means to find true love
Right.
and deceit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the moral of the story. And also, I guess that's all I have to say on that.
That's good.
I thought I
think
had.
that
I don't
sums
have
it up
nothing
really
else.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
I think I did a great job with that.
I think so, too.
Such a good
And I
job.
felt a little nervous.
Let's give it up for Matt!
I did a pretty good job with that answer.
Yeah.
Oh wait, should we give?
Yeah, we gotta
whoop,
give
whoop
whoop ratings.
worthiness?
So,
I was reminded when I started whooping.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, you brought something up. Goosebump worthiness.
Ooh,
Ah.
goosebump worthiness.
Could be a new
That's
axis.
good-
Yeah.
That's a good
A new meter.
rating.
Yeah.
How many goosebumps for that move? That you know how long that would take to count all the individual goosebumps?
take the picture, send it to the lab.
2 forearms and half an inner thigh.
Podcast is just like... So, who's got a volunteer for whoops or goosebumps?
Let's see. Goosebumps I only got during the finger sucking scene.
Okay.
And whoops, I think I gave it a good whoop whoop. I think I got 2 whoops
That's a
out of
full
there.
2?
Full 2 whoops.
Have we established, is that the highest you can go?
We don't
There's
have a
sky's the
high
limit.
bar.
Give
Sky is the limit.
multiplicity.
I think multiplicity was just a whoop. So our rating system's way off.
It's way
It's
off.
way off.
Oh, jeez.
We whooped the shit out of multiplicity.
Yeah, I would. If I were to go back, I would give multiplicity 10 whoops.
10 whoops.
Wow.
And what about this one?
Sorry.
I'd give it 2 whoops.
2 whoops. 2 whoops.
The 2 what? The 2 whoops? Mike is a pity. Thank you.
And
It's
for
movies.
goosebumpiness, well, go ahead, do your whoops.
I would give it like a half a whoop just for Rupert Everett.
Jeez.
Like just anything Rupert Everett is on screen, and I didn't get full goosebumps in any of the scenes. There were scenes that I found touching, but not to the point of goosebumps.
Okay.
Are you prone to goosebumps?
Do you have a family history of goosebumps?
It's a condition. We're very sensitive. I am a pretty easy goosebump, to be honest. But
Real
I
goosebumps,
only get them exclusively. It's with music and movies. It's
Okay.
like not in real. There's never like a real life goosebump.
Yeah.
Right.
Because nothing-
Unless somebody's describing something from a movie.
Yes, that's the only time. Nothing really compels me IRL.
Yeah.
Right, right.
What was the question?
Do you have whoop rating or goosebump rating?
Yeah, okay, so the frame of reference, this is what I have. So I know that, so Rob, you guys kind of, 10 whoops was multiplicity.
Retroactively.
I'm giving it
Retroactively.
Yeah.
retroactively.
Okay,
yeah.
10 whoops. So then this one, and then you said 3. How many whoops did you give it?
Oh yeah, you
Or you did a
You
goosebump
gave
scale.
2. You really shat on this movie.
Oh, 2 whoops.
Because I thought you guys liked it.
Well, she gave 2 when she
I
thought
said
that was
whoop, whoop,
very
yeah.
high.
That's 2, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you
I
gave
don't
it
know.
3?
Well, there's not a consistent system
not a
here.
real
It's just whatever your heart tells you.
Okay, then I'm probably going to go 5 whoops on
5
this.
whoops.
Whoa,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many were for Rupert exclusively?
No, for me, honestly, I didn't have the thing where it's just like, oh my god, I love his scenes more. I thought his was a perfect complement to everything. I liked it.
Okay.
Like he was genius, the
Wow.
genius scenes,
Yeah.
but I was enjoying everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when I thought the characters were bad, and I thought the actors were bad, lousy. Like what's his face, the leading
Dermott
man.
Mulroney.
Oh, he's
Useless,
terrible.
utterly useless.
Yeah.
But it was
Completely.
fine.
Yeah.
I didn't mind
Yeah.
for some reason.
So are we playing a game today?
Ooh.
We are playing a game.
Monopoly, please.
Xena.
Okay, we are playing a game today.
It's called Porn or Dirty Dancing.
It's a new game on the show. We'll be asking Michael and Matt. We'll be giving them a line from a movie, and they say whether the line's from a porn or from Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
Okay.
Are the contestants ready?
Are we alternating, or are we like? I guess we could both answer.
You could both answer.
Yeah, sure.
We'll do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And then do I get, then
You
we
tell them what the truth is.
what the truth is.
Oh,
Okay,
jeez.
we do disclose.
You always tell us the truth.
All right, porn or dirty dancing? Listen, you shouldn't be wasting your money on me.
Ooh. I'm gonna
Okay.
say Dirty Dancing.
Shall I have an answer? Ready? Dirty Dancing.
Nope, it's from a porn.
Oh.
Prisoner of Paradise.
Oh, I
Classic.
love that one.
Let's-
I've never seen Dirty Dancing, so this is pretty hard.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Can I tell you guys a secret?
Yeah.
I've actually never seen Dirty Dancing.
Oh my god, this is
I've
It's a
never
porn,
seen the-
right?
Yeah, it's a really hot porn that people really love from the
This is
80s.
it's Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey.
Yeah.
This is the one where he picks her up and
Yep,
they
picks her up and
film a
fucks her.
porn.
Yep.
Is this baby in a corner?
Yes.
Nobody puts baby.
Nobody puts baby in
That's
the
the only line I know. I hope that's one of the questions.
We were gonna put that as one of the
Might
questions.
be in here. Let's get breathless again.
I feel like this is like leading me to Dirty Dancing, so I'm gonna say porn.
Dirty Dancing.
Porn.
Oh.
Yeah.
House Tales.
What's it called?
Hot House Tales.
Hot House Tales. Nice.
We want to make sure the viewers the listeners can.
In research.
Can I peek behind the curtain? How did you guys collect the
Peeking.
porn quotes?
Oh, we watched a lot of porn this
A
morning.
bunch of porn. Yeah.
So you just like watch an entire porn movie and like write down one line. From
Well,
it.
we were just like we just
It's your normal
skipped
Monday
around.
morning.
we just skipped around the porns.
Got it.
It was actually very hard because we were trying to look. First, I just thought I'll just Google,
Porn.
porn lines, and then because I thought a lot of porn these days is less
These
about
porn
the
todays.
less about the dialogue and the story,
Right.
More about the
Oh, wait.
For the listeners, Rachel's doing a finger in the hole movement.
And Matthew got goosebumps again.
All right, you guys are doing great. I think Michael has 5 points. Matt's got 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next up.
I like.
Now listen, all the broads are different. Some are worse than others, and some are just plain weird.
Broads or bras?
Ooh.
Broads.
Broads.
Dirty Dancing. Tell us.
Yeah, that seems like Dirty Dancing.
Totally.
It's from porn.
Damn.
Babyface.
Foiled by porn.
It's called Babyface.
Yep.
I feel like I want to know more about what's happening in these porn scenes. Like,
Oh, that's why we're giving you the names so you can watch it.
You go back and watch.
Yeah.
but do you guys remember anything from these scenes?
That scene, there was just like a bunch of guys hanging out in a room. Right after. This is like, so we started looking up like vintage porn because
We wanted more dialogue.
We wanted
it
more
used to
dialogue.
be more about the story.
Yeah.
people used to talk.
People used to care.
talk to each other before they started fucking the shit out of each other.
All right, moving on. You just put your pickle on everybody's plate, college boy, and leave the hard stuff to me.
Okay, I'm gonna go Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Dirty Dancing.
Yes. Ding
Okay.
ding.
Cool.
See, this is exactly what happens when you go out and party with your friends.
Dirty Dancing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dirty Dancing on that.
Porn.
Really?
Porn.
What's the title of that porn?
Oh, that was from
It's from porn you guys shot.
Hot Stepmom Help.
What was it?
Hot Stepmom Helps on God.
Wait. Who did she help?
See, I can't even say it out loud.
Hot Stepmom Helps on Gum.
Wait, who did
Hops on cum?
she help?
Hot stepmom helps son come.
Oh no is right.
Or like
That's
a
a minus 4 points for you.
I don't know.
But this is like a 5-minute movie or like
No,
a
it was a
full-length
video.
movie?
No, it was like a 5-minute video.
Okay.
No, it was pretty. There wasn't a whole lot to it.
What was the line again?
See, this is exactly what happens when
Yeah.
you go out and party with your friends.
So
He has a massive hangover.
Yeah.
He stumbles into his dad's room. He's like, Dad, I'm so hungover.
he's like covering his face. He can't like even open his eyes.
Can't look at the light. Dad's like, yeah, go take some Tylenol. It's in the bathroom. He stumbles in, grabs a bottle of pills.
Takes
Takes
some
it's
pills.
Viagra.
Oh, bother.
Don't you hate it when you accidentally pop some Viagra in the
Yes.
morning? Anyways,
He goes back into his room,
Boing, 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 boing. Doing, boing, boing, boing. Diggity.
And then how does the stepmom get involved?
Underlay. I don't know why I'm saying these things.
So he's like trying to jerk off.
He's having a real time of it.
He's having a real time with it.
And the dad comes in and he's like, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
he's just like, nothing, because he's still under the covers. And he's like, all right, whatever. Going to the store. See you later.
It's sad that this is a podcast because both of you guys are very red. In describing porn.
Yeah, pretty red.
Well, my eyes are just watering so much.
So turned on.
Turned on, this is what happens. Is that what people mean when they say I'm so wet?
Yeah. My eyes are so red.
So this kid, he then goes.
Makes me feel really weird that we're referring to him as a kid.
He's like a kid.
Hopefully he's over 21.
I'm sure
he was
he's
out
over
drinking
21
last night.
Right.
So true. This young man, I'll say,
This young gent.
this young gentleman goes into his parents' bedroom and he's like, "Hey, stepmom, I got a big boner. I need help." And she's like, "Okay." And then she's just like, "Just do what your dad does."
Oh, yep.
And she like turns over and she just gets into like doggy style position, hikes her skirt up, and she's like, "Go for it."
Whoa.
Yeah, we were expecting it to be a little more subtle, the transition from
Yeah.
the boner to them fucking.
Are you
but
sure
no, he
this
just-
wasn't Dirty Dancing? That sounds like the plot of Dirty Dancing.
Oh, wait a
wait.
second. We got mixed up.
Yeah, we did.
I appeal my score on that one. All right, ready for the next one.
I didn't blow a summer hauling toasted bagels just to bail out some little chicks who probably balled every guy in the place.
Ooh.
I didn't blow what?
I didn't blow a summer
Oh, blow
hauling
a summer.
toasted bagels just to bail out some little chicks who probably balled every guy in the place.
That sounds like Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Sure is.
Yeah.
What about this one? I decided to go all the way with Robbie.
Dirty Dancing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow, I'm on
Oops.
fire.
After you said that, that's right.
So far, I've guessed Dirty Dancing. Just to play it safe.
And
Just so people don't think you're all about the porn. Matt Woodland, always about the porn.
I'm not all about the porn.
nobody puts baby in a corner.
Porn. I'm sure there's porn that does
Well,
say
that's
it.
what we were
trying to
thinking.
find a
If
porn
we
movie
had
that-
if we'd had more time, we would have tried to find a porn that had.
If you had more time and you had more porn.
we had more porn to have access to. It's very hard to do research on porn.
Yeah, there's not a lot of porn on the internet.
So if the viewers could get back to us with the porn that uses that line,
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah, just tweet at
yeah.
us all the porn that you want to suggest for a future episode. At the Dusty VCR. And you guys have taken over our Instagram. I had,
Yeah, we've
had left
been
it fallow.
posting
Ooh.
Posting it left and right.
Yeah.
Is that right? Oh, wow.
No. I was actually thinking I should have taken pictures of your goosebumps for our Instagram.
Yeah.
We can recreate that.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. You can find us online at dustyvcr.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Dusty VCR. And our guest, Matt Woodland, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Matt Woodland.
Yeah, and you also host a comedy night.
I do. I host the first Tuesday of every month at Luther's Co-op in downtown East Hampton, Mass. Also, I host another comedy show in Northampton, Mass at Iconico Social Club the third Thursday of every month.
Oh, nice.
We didn't know about that.
And you can see me at a record shop doing comedy in some strange town in Connecticut.
Ooh.
Probably, but it probably already happened depending when you release this episode.
Like a few days.
But okay, no,
What's
Two
the
things-
date?
I don't know. Two things that are obsolete: records and comedy, stand-up comedy.
All right, awesome. So that's it for this episode. Thanks, everybody, and thanks to Luthier's Co-op for giving us the space, and thanks again to our sponsor, Julie Roston. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Julie. Come party. Julie can party. Julie can party. Julie can party. Julie can party. Julie can